There I was, standing in my backyard, staring at the most glorious, ridiculous piece of metal I'd ever owned. A trailer-mounted hog roaster the size of a small car. Its black steel sides gleamed in the morning sun smoke, curling lazily from the chimney like a flag of defiance. Across the street, Brenda Hernandez, our HOA president and self-appointed queen of suburbia, stood frozen on her lawn-mouth open clipboard, trembling in her hands. I'd finally done it. I'd beaten her at her own game, and it all started because of one stupid foot. It began 3 weeks earlier on what should have been the perfect Saturday. I was flipping a burger medium rare, a masterpiece of grill marks and sizzle, when a shadow crept over my deck. Not the friendly kind. No, this one carried the energy of bureaucracy and judgment. I didn't even have to look up. I knew that sound, the clack-clack of Brenda's clipboard. My personal omen of doom. I turned slowly, spatula in hand, wearing what I hoped looked like a polite smile but felt more like a grimace. "Good afternoon, Mark," she chirped, voice sweet as lemon juice on a paper cut. Her khakis were pressed to military precision, and her hair, somehow both sharp and motionless, didn't dare defy gravity. "I'm afraid your propane grill is too close to your house." I blinked. Too close, I glanced at the grill 5 feet away from the siding, exactly where it had been for 10 years. "It's perfectly safe, Brenda." She adjusted her glasses and smiled the kind of smile that said she was about to ruin my day. Municipal Code 417.3b clearly states 6 feet from any combustible structure. Not 5. Not 5.5. 6. Clack. The sound of her pen tapping her clipboard might as well have been a gavel. "Brenda, come on, it's 1 foot." 1 foot, she echoed, tilting her head. And that 1 foot could mean the difference between a peaceful barbecue and a 3-alarm fire. You have 48 hours to fix it, or I'll have to file a formal violation. Then she turned on her heel and marched off, leaving me standing there with a half-cooked burger and the urge to throw my spatula like a spear. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. 1 foot. 1 ridiculous, meaningless foot. It wasn't about safety. It was about control. Brenda thrived on control, and I'd just given her a reason to flex it. By midnight, I was scrolling through city codes and HOA bylaws fueled by caffeine and pure spite. She wasn't entirely wrong, but she sure as hell wasn't right either. The 6-foot rule applied mostly to commercial equipment, not regular backyard grills. She'd twisted the rule just enough to make it stick. Still, I tried to be reasonable. I thought about moving the grill, but my deck was only 8 feet deep. Move it back a foot, and I'd be grilling off the edge like a circus act. I even considered getting an electric grill. No flames, no problems, but that felt like surrender. No smoke, no flavor, no soul. The thought made me physically recoil. At one point I actually muttered, "Maybe I should just sell the damn house." My cat looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Maybe I had. I sat there staring at the glow of my laptop screen, feeling completely defeated. Maybe Brenda was right. Maybe I was the difficult one. Who fights over a grill? I almost closed the laptop right then. But something inside me clicked. Not anger, not even pride, something quieter, a refusal. She wanted compliance, I'd give her compliance. She'd never forget. And that's when I found it. Big Boy's Custom Smoker and Roaster Solutions. The photo stopped me dead. A monstrous, gleaming, trailer-mounted hog roaster. 10 feet long, dual-axle, full stainless steel. It wasn't a grill. It was a mobile monument to barbecue freedom. Legally, it wasn't even considered a structure. I could park it 20 feet from anything and call it compliant. Brenda wanted 6 feet, I'd give her 20. I called my best friend Dave because bad ideas always sound better out loud. "Dude," I said, "Brenda's at it again. Says my grill's too close, so I'm getting something bigger." "How big?" he asked suspiciously. "Like feed a village big." Silence. Then laughter. "You're insane." "I love it." That was all the encouragement I needed. The next morning I was on the phone with a concrete guy named Tony, explaining that I needed a reinforced pad for a large outdoor cooking appliance. He showed up the next day, squinted at my yard, and asked, How large are we talking? 10 feet long. 3,000 pounds? He blinked. You throwing block parties or invading a small country? Both, I said. A few days later, while Tony's crew poured the slab, my elderly neighbor Mrs. Henderson shuffled over with her watering can. Goodness, Mark, what are you building back there? Brenda's been pacing her lawn all morning. I grinned. Just making sure everything's 6 feet compliant, she chuckled softly, eyes twinkling. Oh, you clever boy, I won't tell a soul. 2 weeks later, a semi-truck the size of a dinosaur rolled down Maple Ridge Drive. The roar of the diesel engine echoed off every house. Kids rode up on their bikes, curtains fluttered. Even the mailman stopped to stare. And then it appeared the Swine Baron 3000, black, gleaming, magnificent. The driver unhitched it from the truck and left it sitting in my driveway like a parked battleship. Tony's crew returned with a forklift to move it onto the pad. It took 2 hours, several straps, and one near heart attack when it tilted slightly, but finally it sat there perfectly level, perfectly legal. That's when I heard the sharp clack of a clipboard. Brenda stood at the end of my driveway, eyes wide, jaw slack. For the first time since I'd met her, she was speechless. Mark. What is that monstrosity, this? I said innocently, patting the steel side. My new outdoor cooking appliance, fully mobile trailer-mounted and parked 25 feet from the house, her mouth opened and closed like a fish. You can't just, this is a commercial device. It's an eyesore. Actually, I said, handing her a printed copy of the very bylaws she'd quoted me weeks ago. It's not a structure, it's a vehicle. And per Section 417.3b. I am more than compliant. Her face turned a shade of red I'd only ever seen on fire trucks. This is ridiculous, she hissed. No, I said calmly. This is exactly 6 feet beyond ridiculous. She stormed off, but I knew she wouldn't let it go. Sure enough, the next afternoon a police cruiser rolled up. 2 officers stepped out trying and failing not to laugh at the sight of the massive roaster gleaming like a battleship in suburbia. Afternoon, sir, one said. We got a call about, industrial equipment, I nodded. That'd be my roaster. It's completely legal. Would you like to see the paperwork they did? They read. They frowned. Then one tapped the concrete pad with his boot. This thing's solid. You really did your homework. Brenda taught me well, I said. They exchanged a look and finally shrugged. You're fine, sir. No violations here. As they pulled away, I saw Brenda's blinds snap shut like a guillotine. That should have been enough. But the look on her face, it deserved an encore. So the next weekend, I fired up the Swine Baron 3000. Applewood in the firebox, 1 small chicken on the grate, just a test run, I told myself. The smell drifted down the street, sweet and smoky. People started wandering over, curious. Mrs. Henderson was first. Oh my, she said, eyes wide. It smells heavenly. It's just the beginning, I replied. Word spread fast. The next Saturday, half the neighborhood showed up for what we unofficially called the block party of compliance. I'd gone all in an 80-pound hog marinated overnight slow roasting since dawn. Kids ran around, music played, laughter filled the air. Dave arrived with a cooler and a grin. Dude, he said you turned a code violation into a festival. I laughed, carving into the perfectly crisp pork. Pork of defiance, my friend. Across the street, Brenda stood at her window, arms folded, face pale in the flicker of the roaster's flames. She didn't say a word. She didn't need to. The message was clear: you can't beat someone who plays by your rules, just better. I looked around at the smiling faces, the smoke rising into the evening sky, and I realized something. This wasn't about a grill. It never was. It was about standing your ground when someone tries to take an inch, or in my case a foot, and turning it into something unstoppable. Brenda said my propane grill was too close to the house, so I bought a trailer-mounted hog roaster. Sometimes the only way to win is to obey the rules so hard they break themselves.